And it doesn't matter whether your win is ugly or pretty. It matters whether you make it. It matters whether you keep going. There's no pretty like point one, point two, point three, point four. There's no theological pretty sermons to give to this. There's only one rule. It's like, don't quit.
What if you could build a business in the modern world as big or as small as you want without having to compromise the things that were the most important to you in the very beginning? This is the Wealthy Consultant Talks Podcast with Taylor Welch and Mike Walker, as they share with you today their learning lessons from stories in their experiences over the past 10 to 15 years and share with you right here, right now. Let's get into it.
What is going on, my friends? Mike Walker here. Welcome to another episode of the Wealthy Consultant Podcast. This one, my friends, I got something special for you today. I'm actually going to be pulling a clip from a client-only call that we do every single Monday, the Monday Mindset call that we hold. And we had a fantastic session earlier this week, and I want to share it with you because it will really kind of pull back the curtain. You can get a feel of what it's like to participate with us in these types of calls. They're available to every single member that subscribes to the Wealthy Consultant, the Consulting Digest, rather, that we call it. We have an entire online community of clients who subscribe to that. So I'll make sure that around this video, you have access to that. It's just a phenomenal way to not only get the monthly publication that we do, both digital and physical, but also the weekly calls that we do. It's a great community, a really great place to put yourself into a room of other exceptional people all around the world. All right. But this call in particular was powerful because we talked about what could be potentially sabotaging your results. You know, most entrepreneurs, I can't fault them for working hard, trying hard, having a big vision. These are all great things and you absolutely need them. But the irony is that there is mental processing. There is software embedded deep within your head, between those ears of yours, that could potentially be sabotaging your results. And that's precisely what we talked about. Taylor threw on some heaters on this call, and they were just simply too good not to share with you. So all that being said, enjoy this clip. I know you're going to like it. Take some notes, and then most importantly, apply, because knowledge isn't power. It's only potential power. It turns powerful when you actually put it into use. Am I right? Excellent, guys. Enjoy this one. I know you're going to like it. Let's go.
I'll confess to you guys. Let's do a confession, a Monday morning confession.
Confession? That's a new call. That's a new call structure.
Yeah, dude. I dropped out of college with 16 or 15 credit hours left to go. So I'm like right on the edge. I'm pretty sure I just actually sent my transcripts in because I'm like, let me test out of a psych degree. Just give me a BS of psychology. I'm smarter than your professors are. So just give me a test and let me test out. So there's two universities who are like, they just want to see my transcripts and they want to give me credit hours for a bunch of stuff. They're like, how many businesses have you run? You get credits for that. I'm like 14. And,
You're like, I could run it.
You're like, you get credits for having a kid. I got two. You get credits for like running teams. Like I've had 7 of them. So I'm kind of like, well, I want to get my degree finished because as we move into licensing education, especially in other countries, in America, it's not as big of a deal. American education is a little bit different. Like you can, if you're rich, you just kind of like people will listen to you. But we want to send some training to India, and South Africa, and even in the UK. So we might need to play around with it. But long story short, I like dropped out because I was like, these professors are poor, and they don't even know. Like they're teaching me business marketing from like 1987. It's like no internet, so they don't even. Why am I in school?
It's the latest print, bro. It's the latest print.
This is in 2014. I was like, forget it, man. I'm going to go build my own business. So long story short, we're moving forward to licensing business material to colleges because they're very interested. They want education from entrepreneurs who are in the game, not just who have read books, but who are doing it right now. We're on the cutting edge of what's working with marketing right now. Even in our space, we're on the cutting edge. You talk about internet marketers, even internet marketers hop in and they're like, I don't know, you can do that. And we're like, yeah, it's just math, do some math. It's crazy. But this guy is, he's a 77-year-old, just the chillest person I've ever met. And so we had dinner. We went back to his place. It's got like 400 acres in College Station. And just to hear someone talk who has been through life and who has been through pain and has been through betrayal and has been through challenges, and to hear the mindset that he's chosen to develop. He's like, he was saying something to me. He's like, there's only two philosophies to have. One philosophy is that you can be taken advantage of and you must protect yourself at all costs. And if that's your philosophy, it will eventually come true. The other philosophy you can have is to see the best of human nature and see the good in human nature. And if you're taken advantage of, it'll work out in your benefit. I was like, man, what a profound statement for an almost 80-year-old who has worked in the government. He's worked in private practice. He's worked in corporate America. We were talking at dinner, and he looked at the dinner and he said, what do you think the cost of our food would be if everyone in this establishment was trustworthy? I said, I don't know. It'd probably be the same, I guess. He said, really? I was like, I can tell that I gave you the wrong answer. He pulled a Taylor Welch on me. He's like,
yeah, I was gonna say this feels oddly familiar, but okay, keep going.
He said, what if everyone in the food business was trustworthy and had integrity? You wouldn't need locks on the doors. You wouldn't need health regulations. You wouldn't need cameras. Nobody would steal anything.
I see where you're going. Yeah.
Said our organization, the market value on integrity reduces the cost of goods by roughly 30%.
Mm-hmm.
So your food would be 30% less expensive if we didn't have to have the organizations just trying to keep people honest and keep people telling the truth. I was like, man, I've never thought about that. So that's where he's got a big vision for just refining the way that children are taught to succeed in the world. When you're in 6th grade, if you begin to learn the market value of integrity, how does that change the people who are running businesses and running our government in 15 years? It changes a lot. Integrity is one of the most deflationary ingredients that we possess in human nature. I was like, I've never thought about that. There's a guy who just sits around and works with Fortune 100 companies and does the math. So it's really, really cool. So we're pushing towards that. We have Thanksgiving this week, so I hope you guys are planning on taking a little bit of just chill, just relax a little bit. Get into planning for 2025. Then we have our last TWC event of 2025 next week.
I know, dude.
What's going on, man? 2024
you were in the city.
It's 2025. Soon it'll be like freaking Christmas of 2025. It'll be like, what happened, Leo? What happened to us?
Man. Coming quick.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the impenetrable mindset that you have to develop if you're going to win, if you're going to advance. There is this thing that I've noticed in myself recently, and I'm very concerned with it. I've been writing about it and thinking about it. I've been thinking about why I'm thinking this way, the way that you would kind of explore, all of us that have kids know this. Like sometimes your kids just will have a rash or something, or they'll come home sick, and you sort of have a raise the level of awareness when a child comes home and they're sick. Or, my son the other day, we don't know how he got this. He just had this mark on his face. It looked like a bruise.
Mm.
We're like, how'd you get that bruise, man? What'd you do? And his nanny didn't know, and Kate didn't know. Kate's honest. So she usually would be like, I hit him. And we're like,
oh, that was me.
Usually work our way around honesty and eventually come clean. So we're going to figure out how we got this. And so, you just, as a parent, you have a raised level of sensitivity and awareness when you're trying to figure out what happened to this kid. What's this rash mean? Hey, we'll text the doctor, or we'll just watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's just pay special attention to this. There's a sneaky thing in my mind right now that I'm concerned with, and I'm starting to pay attention to it. Like a rash, I'm bothered by it. I am frustrated with it. I wake up in the morning and this is one of the first things I think about. And when something happens that I don't like, it's almost an immediate instinct that I have. Instead of thinking about the thing that I don't like, I'm more interested and curious with where my brain is going with this default bug in the operating system that somehow has been allowed to grow in my minds. And the gift of this is that I'm aware of it. The curse of this is that you are not aware of it and you have the same bug. And so we're going to practice the gift of awareness and we're going to work on this morning. Does that sound good? What a frame. What a frame. Take a moment and
well done, sir. Well done.
Celebrate the frame I just laid.
We're all super paranoid now. This is awesome.
See, like even in an exhausted state, I control the realm of the mind like nothing else. The beast of the mind comes for us all, and it's up to us to either redeem it and refine it or to be eaten alive by it.
Oh,
what a
frame. Jeez, come in.
What a
we're out, y'all. Only hot.
There's only 35 people on this call because the rest of them are losers.
Oh my God.
Send this recording out for people and let them know that. No, don't tell them. Don't tell them anything. All right. Here's the bug. I am increasingly aware that I think first about the justification. I make the excuse for why I'm not winning in an area that I feel like I should be winning. And if I don't catch this, my brain will concoct this elaborate illusion of victimhood. And I don't like it. And it's frustrating. I'll give you an example. There's a business, there's a skill set that I'm developing right now, and it's a business. And every time I don't see the result that I want to see in this business, the first thing that I instinctively think about is the reason that it makes sense that I'm not seeing the result that I want to see. The justification. Oh, this happens, and this happened, and this happened. And increasingly, I've noticed that if I don't catch this, I will concoct this environment like a hologram around myself that allows me to lower my standards because I'm justifying why I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And I've seen this happen with people in business. Oh, I've just got, the kids are crazy this week. I've seen this in business when people are just like, well, you know, we had a legal situation. I've seen this in business where people are like, well, we've just been traveling too much. And I think I've come to the hard edge of this bug in the minds where I'm finally beginning to purge it. And the way that I'm purging it is I am now listing out all of the justifications and the reasons why I'm not where I want to be and why I'm not where I should be. And I'm now beginning to undo them. I am labeling them false in the realm of the minds. There are people who go through extreme traumatic situations, and the same situation can happen to us both. And one person decides to rise on the back of it, and another person decides to write it down into the dirt. What's the difference? When someone hurts you, there's an instinct. It's before the conscious mind shows up. It's a subconscious instinct, and it depends on your rules. Your subconscious runs on currents, and the currents that run the subconscious are your belief systems. And there's this natural instinct response. If I come up to Leo and I'm in his office and I take my hand and I just start swinging it at him, the body is going to respond before his brain does. And depending on his training, he's either going to immobilize me or he's going to flinch at it. If he's trained, we got Adam Keifer on this call, so he can substantiate and back this up. If he's trained, his muscle memory will lean into it and try to get control of it. If he's not trained, his muscle memory will push him away from it. And the collateral damage of what I'm trying to do to him, as he leans away, the momentum will build up and he'll lose control. In life, we have the same thing. And I think it's time for us to begin to train on this. Dan, for HR reasons, I've never actually hit anyone on my team ever. I've never assaulted anyone. It's time to train the mind. It's time to train the brain the way the body is trained in martial arts. It's time to train the brain to instinctively lean in and create leverage. Because you can believe one of two things when something negative happens to you. The first thing that you can believe, which is poisoning the American education system right now, is, oh, it's not fair. Life ain't fair, man. This is not fair. You were born with enough resources. Your mommy did it. Your daddy did it. This person did it. That person. I'm not in the right city. I haven't had the right education. I haven't had the right this, that, or the other. You start justifying. You lean away from the cost of whatever's happening to you. And it's time for us to kind of create a new movement and spin off a new movement where we can lean in and say, look, this happened to me because I am chosen. And chosen people never have the easiest life. We have the best life, but never the easiest life. We have the best life because our lives have trained us over years of sometimes brutal situations and brutal circumstances to develop philosophy around how to handle setback and how to handle failure. I believe that 100% there are people on this call, and there are people that are probably going to watch the replay if they can make it through the onslaught of insults that I've given them for not showing up. There are people that are watching this. You are chosen to do something incredible for a whole generation of people. But because you won't stop leaning away from the pain, you're never going to do it. Mm-hmm. Because you won't stop justifying the lack of visual momentum, you're never going to do it. Things in business and things in spirit and things in life and things in the mind work like this. Slowly, 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 boom, all of a sudden, suddenly. Wouldn't it be nice if there was just a linear stepping stone to the top where you could just predictably 20% easy momentum year after year just rise to the top? Wouldn't that be great? But that's not how nature works. That's not how life, nothing in your life works that way.
Nope.
What life does is life challenges you to test your grind and your certainty. This is a different type of grind than working weekends. This stuff's stupid. I'm not talking about that. You should work hard. If you don't know how to work hard, cancel your subscription and go home. We don't have time to train lazy people. What I mean by grind is I don't know if you guys are into NBA, but I lived in Memphis for a long time. And we had the Memphis Grizzlies basketball team. And Memphis Grizzlies didn't know how to play basketball unless they were like wrestling like a gang underneath like the freaking hoop. Like they were just dirty. And you go back, you look at, anyways, I went to so many Memphis Grizzlies games and we just grinded out. The Grizzlies became good because of ugly wins. You know what I'm saying? Like an ugly win. Like Golden State Warriors have like pretty wins. Memphis Grizzlies had ugly wins, and they would beat the Warriors consistently. They beat them a lot because when push came to shove, the Warriors didn't really know how to grind under. They didn't know how to grind in the paint. They would kind of get disoriented and confused, and the Grizzlies would just like stomp you because they just would not quit. They would keep going. They would keep going. It didn't matter if they were ahead or behind. They were almost like addicted to the grind of the game. Mm-hmm. Life will test your ability to grind it out in the paint right before the end of the fourth quarter. And it doesn't matter whether your win is ugly or pretty. It matters whether you make it. It matters whether you keep going. And so I've started writing about this, and this is there's no pretty like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. There's no like, theological pretty sermon to give to this. There's only one rule. It's like, don't fucking quit. And don't justify and excuse yourself because your life is difficult. First of all, your life is not fucking difficult. Grow up. It's not that difficult. When you actually go to other places and you meet other people, you will see people who you're confused about how they're still alive. Yeah. When you study people who have made it through, like I was this person that I met with, he was telling me stories. His first business was taken from him. He was pushed out of his first business. His second business was taken from him too. On Christmas Eve, his wife divorced him, his first wife. And he just went from the top to the bottom. Your instincts are tested when you go from the top to the bottom quickly, faster than you should. You fell off that mountain way faster than you should have. That means you are chosen. And life is testing your belief systems. Life is testing your instincts. And we have to begin to train our subconscious that, man, it took this person 6 months and it took this person 3 years and it took me 10 years. What's the difference? I'm chosen. And the more you're chosen and the more important you are in the grand scheme of things, the more life will test you to make sure you can hang on to it once you're at the top. Well, beware success that is too fast and too easy. It's not a gift. It's not a gift. Succeeding before you earn it is not a gift. These are the most spoiled people that you'll ever encounter. They're the people, the gurus on Twitter, and they're just blowing stuff up. And the collateral damage behind them is almost exclusively coming from the fact that they won too early and too easy. And I can tell you this with confidence because I was that person. And when you look at the trajectory of my life now and the millions and millions of people that I'm going to unlock over the next 100 years, it's not because my first business was successful. It's not because my second business was successful. It's because I lost everything and decided to keep going. This is the game. So we've got a couple of days before like 2025. And here's what I would say. As you prepare for 2025, spend a couple of minutes, not just listing your goals, but what are you willing to pay for them? Get that agreement set up front. How long are you willing to fight for them? It's a different frame and there's an energy here. I can instantly tell the power reserves of a person when they've counted the cost. If it happens soon, whatever. If it takes 10 years, whatever. It's like when you talk about my kids, and it doesn't matter how much time it takes. Like Kate's 5, Harrison's 1.5. And it's going to take me, another probably, 20 years to get Kate prepared fully. Maybe 15. I don't know. Mike, you've got a daughter who's about to go venture into the world. It's taken a long time. Was it worth it?
Heck yeah, man. Every day.
Did you ever think about quitting in the middle on your kid?
No, definitely not, man.
It's your reserves built up for the things that you're called to do.
Yeah.
If you're called to do it and if it's your mission, then your commitment should be absolute. There's no room for leaning away from it or rationalizing yourself out of it. If it's a real mission, you will be tested in defeat as you are tested in success.